Entering Fuga's wild ride, I class into hero immediately as my top priority is to get Sol. While Malignite's flight and tome access would be useful in this chapter, there are also several Kinshi Knights which would be rather threatening. Unfortunately, I have no weapon ranks built in the hero class, so I'm stuck to bronze weapons for now. I elect to train Nina's X rank, as it could be helpful once I turn her into a Malignite down the line. I do still have the arms scroll from chapter 13 sitting in the convoy, but I'd like to hold on to it in case I really need it for a strategy down the line. As a consequence of my low weapon ranks, Nina cannot counterattack any enemies attacking her from 2 range. A benefit of the geometry of the map though is that there are many one-tile-wide corridors, which can sometimes force enemies to attack Nina from melee range where she can defeat them with her bronze axe.
Ready and willing. I want to see them cry. Bring it on. I can help.
Since I'm using physical weapons at the moment, the energy drop that went out of my way to grab in chapter 18 is actually coming in quite helpful to help one round these Spearmasters. Nina obtains her first level up in the mercenary class tree, which gives her the good fortune skill. Usually, this skill is kind of just a random bonus, but given how long I'll take on this map and how I have no healers, the healing it provides will be quite beneficial for Nina here.
I want to see them cry.
Rather annoyingly, many Falcon Knights here have armored blow, so Nina won't be able to one-round them on enemy phase. Then, they retreat out of range to a unit who can heal them, of which there are quite a few on this map.
Time to kill. I like our chances. Ready and willing. I'll make them suffer.
By the way, I totally should have targeted the Onmyoji above the Spearmaster rather than the Spearmaster, but oh well. As Nina has entered Hayato's range, she gets targeted by the Hexing Rod. But Hayato misses. I toyed with the idea of exhausting his Hexing Rod uses on other units, but I decided that only having to take care of one unit would be more chill for me.
I've dreamed about this.
Nina reached D-rank axes, which lets her use the hand axe, giving her a 1 to 2 range option. However, she comes just barely short of one-shotting Onmyoji with it, so it's still a pretty inefficient weapon against them. If I still had Corrin in Great Knight, she would have been able to, but I'm not really keen on the idea of spending seals to reclass Corrin just for this purpose. Instead, I choose to abuse the one-tile-wide corridor again. Notably, the hand axe is rather inaccurate anyway.
make them suffer. I've dreamed about this. Bring it on. I can help. It's happening. Ready and willing. Bring it on. It's happening.
Hayato finally hits Nina with the hexing rod. In previous runs where his first attempt succeeded, I vaguely recall Nina survives on 1 HP. With this outcome, I get to save a few uses of concoctions though, which is nice.
I want to see them cry. Ready and willing. I want to see them cry. Time to kill. I want to see them cry.
Finally, Nina has eliminated all of the initially aggressive enemies as well as the first wave of reinforcements. She can now take the wind current to jump up to the platform to the chest that contains the second rescue rod.
I like our chances. It's happening. Time to kill. Let's team up. I'll make them suffer. I can help. Ready and willing. I like our chances. Time to kill. Ready and willing. I've dreamed about this. Let's team up. I want to see them cry. I've dreamed about this.
With C-rank axes, Nina gains access to the bolt axe. Finally, she can double from 2 range.
Bring it on.
We have to be a bit careful though. The Spearmaster holding the dual Naginata has a non-negligible chance to land a crit on Nina if she isn't using her bronze axe.
Ready and willing. Time to kill. I've dreamed about this. Bring it on.
With the bolt axe, Nina can finally reasonably cleanly enemy phase on Myojis, although she still faces some shaky hit rates.
Time to kill. I'll make them suffer. I've dreamed about this.
Nina can now face Hayato. Due to her HP being cut, he can actually do very dangerous damage if he lands a lunar proc. Unfortunately, the wind blows Nina away from Hayato, causing her to lose a charge of her guard gauge before she can reach him again, and he has vantage, so I have her fight some other enemies for now.
I've dreamed about this.
Earlier, I risked Nina's death by letting Hayato attack Nina. I originally actually thought this was completely safe because I forgot he had a weapon other than the rabbit spirit, so I thought Nina was outside of lunar range as long as she healed with a vulnerary.
I want to see them cry. Let's team up. I can help. Time to kill. I've dreamed about this. Let's team up. What's happening? I want to see them cry. I can help. Time to kill. Let's go. Ready and willing. Let's team up. Bring it on. Let's team up. I've dreamed about this. Time to kill.
Nina defeats Fuga, bringing her to level 12 and giving her the strong riposte skill. Usually, this skill is extremely strong, but I actually already have and will be getting other options to increase Nina's damage, and I need skills to increase Nina's survivability and utility as well. So it won't be quite as free of a slot in as it usually is for me. Notably, Nina was already gaining experience pretty slowly, and with this level up, Nina will be gaining even less experience, so my chances of picking up Sol and escaping hero before chapter 21 starts are pretty much confirmed to be gone. At least, that's if I do not do Shigeru's Paralogue right now. But I would like to save that for a contingency later on.
I've dreamed about this. I'll make them suffer. Bring it on. I can help. Ready and willing. I can help. Let's team up. It's happening. I've dreamed about this. It's happening. Let's team up. I like our chances. I've dreamed about this.
Yet another easy LTC. This is certainly not going to be the last we see of a high turn count clear. Welcome to Chapter 21. We've just unlocked the final tier of the staff store, allowing me to purchase stat boosters with all of my excess gold. Even with the Seraph Robe and Draco Shield though, Nina will still be rather glassy on this map, especially since she is currently a foot infantry unit and has very minimal natural healing. Nina's top priority of this map is to reach level 13 so she can grab Sol then swap to Malignite as soon as possible. Each Faceless gives her 8 experience, so there's still a little ways to go before she gets there. One of the Stoneborn misses Nina, followed by an activation of Good Fortune. This is very lucky, although I won't change my base strategy too much from if she got hit by both and didn't land a heal. Unfortunately, said strategy involves the sacrifice of Ophelia to activate the Dragon Vein. I'm rather annoyed that I ended up resorting to this, but I couldn't figure out a reasonably consistent solution to these first turns without either a non-Nina Dragon Vein activation, going through Shigere's Paralogue, or spending a bunch of extra money. I believe could have saved the death by reclassing Xander into a Wyvern Lord. But let's just consider this as Nina succeeding Ophelia's role as a Generation 2 mage, or something like that. Nina only needs to kill 2 more Faceless to reach level 13, so I position her to take exactly that many Faceless on. When I reclass Nina, I will have to spend her turn either healing or attacking, so I'd rather keep my HP high. From the south, several Faceless with Grisly Wound and Wary Fighter are approaching, which I need to steer clear of. Meanwhile, Nina can reclass into Malignite. I have her store her Bolt Axe and take the Horse Spirit so she immediately equips it when she reclasses.
Bring it on. Ready and willing.
Attacking this Stoneborn looks excessively risky. However, the Faceless precede the Stoneborn in the turn order, so as long as the Stoneborn don't see lethal damage on Nina, she will have plenty of chances to heal up with Sol before the Stoneborn chip out her HP.
Bring it on. Ready and willing. Time to kill.
While the regular Stoneborn don't do too much damage to Nina at this point, the ones holding massive rocks are a different story, so I try to not leave Nina in range of too many of them if I can.
I've dreamed about this. I want to see them cry. I can help. Let's team up.
With Elbow Rune, Malefic Aura, Corrin's magic pair-up, supportive, her tonics, and her meal, Nina can defeat the Stoneborn in one hit using the Bolt Axe as long as she is on neutral terrain. However, the Bolt Axe cannot activate Sol, which is a bit of an issue, so I don't want to put her in too much danger while I do this. I was very close to getting Nina to the one-shot threshold with a +2 forged Fimbolvetta, so she could continue activating Sol on enemy phase, but she wasn't quite there. She could also immediately kill the Stoneborn with lightning, but enemy phasing with lightning is obviously not a great idea.
Let's team up. It's happening. Let's team up. I've dreamed about this. Time to kill. Bring it on.
Nina has been in range to escape the map for a while by now, but I'd like to defeat the boss to pick up its scroll. Unfortunately, it is Aegis, and while I can bypass that with the bolt axe, Nina wouldn't survive the following enemy phase. I could play it more patiently, but I decide that since I'm about to get full guard gauge, it's worth a shot just attacking the boss. Overall, this is probably the hardest map I've played since Kana's Paralogue, which I suppose is evident from the fact that I brought Ophelia along. We still have a couple of really tough maps ahead of us, but for now, we can take it a bit easier. We're now on Sakura's map, which is notable for having way too many enemies. This is fortunate for us though, as the next 3 chapters are littered with bow enemies, so I'd like to get Nina the trample skill and out of a flying class.
I can help. I like our chances. I'll make them suffer. Ready and willing. I can help. I want to see them cry.
Hanu is very dangerous to Nina, as she can double Nina and nearly one-shot her with Rend Heaven. Watching this footage back, I actually don't know why I don't just immediately go for the kill here. Normally a 96% displayed hit on such an early turn doesn't really faze me at all.
I'll make them suffer. I've dreamed about this. Ready and willing. Time to kill. I've dreamed about this. I like our chances.
As Nina enters the little encampment Sakura and Yukimura have at the top of the map, I trigger the huge waves of reinforcements. Sakura freezes Nina, but she is perfectly happy to sit on the fort for quite a while. Some paired up automata that are armed with bows are approaching now, but they're still a ways
I'll
off.
make them suffer.
Nina can survive a hit from one of them, but she still needs to be very careful.
Ready and willing. Bring it on. I want to see them cry. Time to kill. Let's team up. Bring it on. Ready and willing. I can help. Time to kill. Bring it on. Let's team up. Ready and willing. It's happening. Time to kill. It's happening. I've dreamed about this. I'll make them suffer. Ready and willing.
With a full guard gauge, I make sure to use lightning to defeat Sakura, otherwise she could potentially survive and then retaliate with miracle.
I'll make them suffer. I want to see them cry. Let's team up. I like our chances. Let's team up. I've dreamed about this. It's happening. I've dreamed about this.
With the bow attacks, Sabaki can't activate Aegis. The map is pretty much over with just one more bow-wielding automata to be wary of, so it's just standard cleanup from here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get quite enough experience to reach level 17 to get Trample for Nina, but the first portion of chapter 23 will do.
Ready for this? I want to.
Many of the snipers on this chapter have the counter skill, so Nina can't safely kill them from one range. I think I could probably one-shot at least some of them with the forged Fimbulveta and Elbow Room, but I have strong riposte equipped for one reason or another. I didn't really think too deeply about it before starting the map. Either way, I start by engaging the non-sniper enemies.
Bring it on. Let's team up.
More sniper reinforcements appear once I aggro the initial enemies, so I begin the slow process of picking them off one by one. I abuse the little pond in the middle of this area to try to divide up the sniper squads, Arknight's reference, and pick off stragglers.
It's happening. I like our chances. I'll make them suffer.
Fortunately, the enemy Bazaras aren't smart enough to lunge Nina into the range of the snipers.
Time to kill. I can help. Ready and willing. I'll make them suffer. Ready and willing. I'll make them suffer. Bring it on. I can help.
After dancing around the snipers for long enough, Nina finally hits level 17 and acquires Trample. I have plans to turn her into a bow knight soon, but I don't believe she can beat Inata's squad without magic access. I choose Sorcerer specifically because I want to pick up Bowbreaker as soon as I can. It's nice to get back to the usual enemy phase business.
Bring it on. I like our chances. I can help. Time to kill. I like our chances. I've dreamed about this. Bring it on. Time to kill. Let's team up. Bring it on. I can help. Let's team up.
As much as I'd like to have Nina just park herself in range of every single enemy on top of the wall, her defense is still rather poor, so I play it safe instead.
I can help. Bring it on. I'll make them suffer. Let's team up. It's happening. Bring it on. I can help. Bring it on.
At level 18, Nina learns Bowbreaker, which for now will be helpful against Takumi later this chapter.
I want to see them cry. Bring it on. Let's team up.
At the end of last enemy phase, Corin very nearly leveled up to level 12. I had wanted to reclass her to Wyvern Lord, but I had forgotten to buy an extra friendship seal. I'd like her to learn Swordbreaker as early as possible in hopes that maybe I can get it at level 15 before facing Yoma, so I'll make sure Corin doesn't dual guard for the rest of this map. Anyway, Nina grabs both treasure, including the very nice second pair of boots.
Bring it on. Let's team up. I've dreamed about this. Bring it on. Ready and willing. I like our chances. Time to kill. I've dreamed about this. I'll make them suffer. I've dreamed about this. Bring it on. I'm here to help. I'll protect you.
Takumi is on a thrown tile and has generally extremely comical avoid, but I have so many avoid reductions and hit boosts that it doesn't matter. That's all for this part. Next time, we'll see how I'll deal with the chapter I planned ahead for the most in the entire game.